Principal, Mr. Johnson, with us. He's going to talk to us about what he's reading now and what he'd like to read in middle school or some middle school book memory. How are you doing, Mr. Johnson?
I am doing good. Probably like everybody else, I'm going a little stir crazy. I'd like to get our kids back here if we could and just be doing school the regular way like we used to. But otherwise, I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really ready to get back to a routine. That's what I miss so much is a routine. So have you been doing any reading now during your quarantine time?
I can say that it's been pretty busy, and I have not. And I've been admonished by my wife that I should start reading more. But with that being said, I mean, I have been doing some reading over the last little bit, but I am definitely not reading as much as I should be.
That's okay. You're a busy guy. We understand that. But one of the genres, do you like historical fiction also, don't you?
I am. I'm a big historical fiction guy. Yeah, I really got into the Shelby Foote, the chronic, his series on the Civil War. Red River to Appomattox and all that stuff. The start of the Civil War, the middle of the Civil War, the end of the Civil War. I love that stuff. It's pretty detailed, pretty heavy. Jeff Shara or the Shara books. So I do like historical fiction.
Yeah, Mr. Stuker, he likes historical fiction, and Mr. Hill likes historical fiction, but or nonfiction. Sorry, historical nonfiction. So that's interesting. I've never really gotten much into that kind of stuff, but that's fine. That's good.
Yeah, and the stuff I read kind of centers around war stuff and just kind of the buildup of wars and what goes on, the kind of the thinking strategies with the generals. Shelby Foote is he's pretty detailed. Like when you start reading it, you know what the last guy in the line on the picket line is thinking. I mean, that's how detailed he gets with his writing. But so you can only you have to read it really in chunks.
Yeah,
at a time.
That sounds a little too much for me. I like frothy stuff pretty much. So, but.
Yeah. And then the other book that I have been reading, and Mrs. Sherman asked me to read it, was Beartown.
Oh yeah. Isn't it?
Huh?
Isn't that one about hockey?
Yeah, the hockey town in, I want to say, Nova Scotia or somewhere like that, and the old pro players back there coaching. But I started getting into it, and it kind of took a turn for the dark side. So and then I got to start reading it again, but I kind of like, oh, this is kind of creeping me out a little bit. So anyway.
All right. So what about when you were in middle school? What did you either like to read? What is there anything you remember about middle school reading?
I was a big reader, I would say, kind of in middle school, high school, kind of then at college, and you have to read college stuff all the time. But okay, so what I remember and what kind of really impacted me a lot, I'm not sure if it's middle school level, but it was the Great Brain series.
Oh yeah, middle school, definitely upper elementary, middle school. We have those in here.
I want to say probably 5th, 6th, maybe 7th grade. I was doing the Great Brain. I loved that series. I thought was it Fitzgerald? But the name. Well, I think that's the name of the characters, but also the guy who wrote the book. He just captured Utah in the 1800s and the late 1800s, and just great stories in there. And I just remember that one, just loving that. The Great Brain at the Academy, Me and My Great Brain. Just kind of reading through that whole series. That really caught me. So
yeah, there you go. That's awesome. It's to look back on that stuff.
Yeah, and I want to say I may have even read them twice. Went through it twice. Yeah. And then the other one that was I thought was pretty impactful for me was the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh yeah. Everyone loves those. Well,
is that middle school?
Yeah, it is. Yep, we have that.
Okay. Yeah, with C.S. Lewis, and I just thought those and they kind of get you thinking. For me, it kind of got me thinking, more spirituality and all that kind of stuff, and with all the symbolism in there and everything. So,
for sure.
Yeah. So those are kind of my middle school reading memories.
And we have both of those sets in the library. So maybe when we all get back to school, those will get checked out by kids because of you.
All right. That'd be cool. When we get back, hopefully sooner than later.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We'll see you later.
Thank you.